University of Texas, but one day, someday, please. Yours in total despair. Hopelessly tongue-tied. Lace Bettingfield stood frozen in freshman homeroom, half in the doorway, half out of it, with her backpack slung over one shoulder. Seated in front of her were 17 students, and every single one of them was reading the current issue of the school newspaper, the Cupid Chronicle. Ominously, hairs on the nape of her neck stood up. The fact that everyone was reading, including the stoners and the jocks, was odd enough, but when they all looked up at her with what seemed to be perfectly choreographed smirks, Lace's stomach took the express elevator to her Skechers. In a split second, her gaze darted to the student nearest her. It was Toby Mercer, her biology lab partner. Toby was 6'6" and weighed the same as Lace, 162 pounds. On him the weight was gaunt. On her it was Zoftig. He possessed strawberry blonde hair and skin so pale it had earned him the nickname Casper way back in kindergarten. She'd known him her entire life. His family lived just down the block from hers. She'd comforted him when kids had picked on him. They'd attended each other's birthday parties. They'd dissected frogs together. But right now, Toby was looking at her all narrow-eyed and smug, like she was a dilapidated barn and he was a wrecking ball. She flicked her eyes from Toby's face to the paper he held in his hand, and there it was. Dear Cupid, I am crazy in love with Pierce Hollister. It was the letter she'd written to Cupid, her private letter that had never been meant for anyone's eyes but her own, printed on the front page of the school newspaper. Her letter, front page, declaring her love for Pierce. How? How had this happened? Unlike the tourists who came to Cupid, wrote letters to the Roman god of love, and deposited their letters in the special letter box in the botanical gardens, expecting them to be answered by the town's volunteers and published in the weekly Cupid Chamber of Commerce circular, Lace had never intended for anyone to see this letter. She'd written it in study hall 3 days earlier, as she gazed out the window watching the football team practice. She'd carefully folded the letter and tucked it into the side pocket of her notebook, with every intention of burning it in the patio chimenea that weekend when her parents were out of town at a cutting horse event. Reality hit her like a fist to the face. Mary Alice. Mary Alice Fant, her second cousin, who was also the editor of the Cupid Chronicle. Pierce had recently dumped her for the head cheerleader, Jenny Angus. 2 nights ago, Mary Alice and her parents had come over to Lace's house for dinner, and at one point, Lace had caught Mary Alice snooping around in her bedroom. Oh, God! Now everyone knew about her secret crush. Her life was ruined. Nausea splashed scalding bile into her throat. Her entire body flushed hot as August in the Chihuahuan desert. 1 heartbeat later, the class erupted into a feeding frenzy. Do you imagine she calls out Pierce's name when she's touching herself? Sniggered Booth Randall, a smart-assed stoner who spent the bulk of his time in detention. Papa Pierce? Another boy stuttered in a fake falsetto. You, Mama make me so hot. Moaning and breathing heavily, the 2 boys pretended to kiss and fondle each other while the other students hurled derisive catcalls like stones. Poor me, wailed Tasha Stewart, whose mother worked in the teller cage next to Lace's mom at Cupid National Bank. I'm so in love with the most popular boy in school, and he doesn't know I exist. Who knows? Someone else called out. She might stand a chance. Pierce could be a closet chubby chaser. No, not unless she can stop.